Kakadosh Boker or Bekiim Halacha 4 day 61, Siman Kavzayin, page 153, Halacha Mem Aleph. We're talking about now, what about if you want to train yourself to become the other way around, right? So in the opposite case, if someone was born left-handed and he wants to train himself now to write and perform all the tasks with the right hand, which that's why I told you that's what they were doing in certain countries. So now he's going to wear the tefillin on his left arm, right? Why? Because he's no longer considered, right, a left-handed, because now that's it. He lost his left-handed. Okay, in fact, as long as he trained himself to write with his right hand, but he still performs other skilled tasks with his left hand, Halacha follows the opinion of the poskim that he must now wear the tefillin on his left arm. Nevertheless, since Halacha is debated amongst the poskim, he should wear tefillin every day on his right arm. It is recommended that no left-handed person place himself in this situation as well, and therefore it's best that a left-handed person should remain as such and not change his status. Which means, Bekitzur, whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu created you, stay that way. Don't come and make yourself from a lefty to a righty or a righty to a lefty. Whatever Hashem blessed you, just that's it. Stay that way. Okay, 165 and 66. 165 says Piskei stated, ruling that obviously seems obvious, since even a right-handed person, once again, he says, who trains himself to become left-handed regarding the skilled tasks, becomes halachically left-handed, as explained in the previous halacha. Certainly, someone who was born left-handed and he trains himself to be the same as the majority of the population can do so, obviously. Now, what happens if a person trained himself to write with his right hand? So Rav Shlomo Kluger ruled that a left-handed person trains himself to write with his right hand, he's no longer a left-handed person. Okay, why? Because now he's a righty. He's like everyone else. But the Yigro Moshe disagreed. He says that just like a right-handed person who trained himself to become a left-handed, in that case we follow the Magen Avraham that he's still considered right-handed since it performs other skill tasks. You remember we brought down a machloket. Do we go after the writing or do we go after the melachot? So the machloket. Maran actually did bring down yesh v'yesh that we go after. So his main one is the writing. However, though, there's other shitot that say no. There's another yeshomrim that no, that it's going after the melachot. So according to that, you go still after the melachot. So therefore, he says there's a svek sveka supporting this ruling. Perhaps Halacha follows the opinion that a status is determined by the person that performs the most skills and nothing to do with the one that he writes with. And even if we do go with the one that you write with, it never helps to train someone to change what you are. So it's a svek sveka that maybe it doesn't work. Right? Number one, maybe we go after melachot and not writing. And number two, even if we do go after writing, maybe you're not allowed to change yourself because by nature you wrote with your left hand or the other hand, whichever one it was. So the Har Tzvi asserted that the Magen Abraham's ruling applies only to a right-handed person who trains himself to use his left hand in an attempt, right, to give himself a status different than the majority of the people. So if he succeeds in changing it, then it's going to be fine, right? The whole question. But if the left-handed trains himself to become the majority of the people, then it may be very well, right? The Zarka. So he says he can reach that goal even though he uses his left hand or other skilled tasks as well. All this is true according to the poskim, right? Who rule that a person's status is determined by the hand with which he writes. Many other poskim, like the Gaon Vilna and others, say no, that you go after the majority of the tasks that you do. So because of the complexity of the issue, they just say don't come and change your status quo. It's always better to stay the status quo. The second, kol hameshaneh gore'ah. Yeah, once you change things, you always have the lower hand. Okay, membet. Now we're talking about the size of the tefillin straps. Remember that you have straps for the tefillin, whether it's going to be on the rosh or on the yad. So what are the sizes? So yeah, the length, right? So it says the minimum necessary length of the strap connected to the tefillin shel yad, okay, is enough to encircle the upper arm, stretch down the arm to the middle finger, form 3 coils around the middle finger, and not be tucked in so that it stays in its place. Okay, that means it has to be tucked in. That it's not that it's just, you mean you have to put it somewhere, right? Fine. So he says the common custom is to wind the strap around the forearm, forming 7 coils, as is explained in below Halacha 56, and therefore it has to be enough for these coils as well. Meaning, technically speaking, I could have gone straight from here to the hand, done 3, I'm already done. But since the minhag is to do 7, so I have to also have enough. No, it's not part. That's what he says. It's a minhag. So therefore, I have the 7, and then I've got the 3, and so now it has to be enough for the 7 and the 3 because it's part of the minhag, right? We're going to learn in 56, right? Halacha 56. Now that is tefillin shel yad. What about now tefillin shel rosh? So the minimum necessary length of the strap connected to tefillin shel rosh is enough to form a loop around the person's head, right? Form the knot, right? And obviously that's the loop here, right? The loop, the knot, and the 2 ends to descend down the person's chest to his navel, right? Or just above it. So according to the Kabbalist, the end of the right side must reach the navel, and he says, well, the end of the left side must reach the person's breast. So it should be the person's breast area. It doesn't have to even go later down, lower down. It makes no difference whether the person is right-handed or left-handed. Okay?